Now, before you heard the sound, now.
Yes, namaste, my love. Thank you.
So welcome.
I have written down my question because my English not so good, and I try to read now. Okay.
Yes. Take your time.
Okay.
Don't worry.
Yes, my love. Yes. This question is about time and perceiving the time.
Yeah.
So I am perceiving now. Everything I perceive is always in this moment.
Yeah.
And the concept of time is known, like time, like past, present, and future. But the experience is always now, only this now. Okay. But then I look outside, for example, and see different old buildings, or I read some ancient scripture, or look at past photograph. And this sense of past arises, but it's not experienced or proven. So how can I know that time passes? Or how can we really rely on stories or books or saints from the past if we haven't experienced it yet? So where does the so-called ancient buildings or scriptures then come from? Because I experience only always now. And if someone tells me something, it's from the past.
Yeah.
Or I see some old building or something like this, and someone says, yes, it's from the 14th century or very old, but maybe you can bring some light on this.
Yes, it's very interesting contemplation. No? So, if this image in front of you,
Yes.
So what happens is that for a while in time, it can seem like we start to question: is the image frozen? You see? So what does it mean for the image to be frozen? It's like no time is passing, so it must be frozen. You see? So time is our idea of change. You see, our idea of a previous state, a new state, and a conceptual future state. You see? Now without these notions, you see, there is no time.
Yes.
Actually, there is no time. So, very often I take this example that suppose you went to sleep tonight, and in the sleep you had a dream that you were living in Haridwar or Rishikesh or something, and you were an Indian man, and somebody asks you your name. You see, you say, "My name is Ramesh." You see, you will not say, "No, no, sorry, sir, my dream just started. I don't know what my name." You see, so although it just started, we are able to still refer to that which our mind calls memory from the apparent past and say, okay, have you always lived in Rishikesh? Yes, I've always lived on the street. You see, so in consciousness has the ability, even at the start, very beginning of the dream, to have a full story about itself. And if it needs references in terms of what has actually happened, it has the ability to produce imagery which can convey that this is from the past. You see, what is memory? Memory never shows up from the past, it only appears in the future, and yet we call it the past. You see, so so really speaking, without these conceptual notions, the mental idea of time, which is linear in the way of past, present, and future, it doesn't exist. You see, so and the tool that we use to try and understand time, which is the mind, is totally incapable of understanding it. Just like it cannot understand truth and love and peace, anything that is worthwhile, it cannot understand. So, so as you let go of your mind and learn to remain in your heart, you see, then you will meet yourself in a broader way, where you are not you don't have an objective relationship with time. You see, and therefore then time, where everything can all happen at the same time, but actually then there's nothing called a happening in the first place. You see, then these kind of things don't confuse us. They can seem very, very obvious to us. You see, so this linear navigation of the narrative using our attention, just like reading a comic book. You see, just right, reading frames of a comic book, which give the apparent belief that the comic characters are going through this in time. You see, actually, it is just a question of perception. You see, with attention, which gives this sort of feeling, or not even a feeling, but idea of time. But actually, like you said, it's only one frame. You see, it's only one frame. But because our attention is limited, the ability of our attention to encapsulate all of perception seems to be limited. And that's why we seem to live this comic book life where we are just consuming life frame by frame. As we let go of our conceptual limitation, then the entirety of the comic is available, you see, and you can visit it this way, that way, jumping around. It doesn't really matter, you see. I'm not saying it as some sort of a siddhi or superpower or something. I'm just saying that we no longer then so attached to this linear narrative of time, and then the experience of consciousness can seem broader and not so constricted by this linearity. But these are beautiful contemplations, and they bring us to this point where we realize that the limited conceptual mind that we have is unable to fathom the broadness of our own being. You see, both in terms of the extent of it and the seeming play of past and future. You see, so. Um, so it's a beautiful thing, and I'm inviting you more and more. You're asking some very beautiful questions. Um, Now allow those questions to bring you to your intuition, where all of this is so apparent, but it continues to remain unspeakable. You see, but you rest in a deep knowing of the universality of your existence beyond the play of space and time. You see, it's so palpable. It's so true.
Yes. Thank you.
So how can you
Thank
say?
you.
Very welcome. Very welcome. How can you say that that monument was really constructed 500 years ago? We can't say.
Yes.
Our dream could have just started. You see, it could just be fresh. So consciousness has no need for time, really. You see, except when it's playing the story of the jivatma, the limited, the play of a limited consciousness. You see, the only as long as that is being played out, then this idea of time is important. Otherwise, this whole universe can be up and down, you see, in no time.
Yes, yes, this is what is experienced here too, right? So I just um, just sometime when I go through an old city or street, and then just this comes up like, but who knows
Yeah,
that this is really, it says like it's 1400, but I just experience it now, so it can be
yeah,
built right now, or it's just happening now
yeah, yes,
and
yes.
only now. This is what this experience is. Yeah, but thank you
Very good.
so much for
It's very
the,
good.
thank
And
you.
also bring it closer to home. You see, also bring the contemplation closer to home, which you're doing, I'm sure, because we don't need to just look at the monuments and ask that. We can look at these monuments also and ask.
Yes.
All the conditions that go along with that which we attach to the body mind, and see whether we can really be sure. You see, because we carry so much guilt and resentment and so many things apparently that happened in the past. Can we really know that this is not the first moment in this waking state that I've ever experienced on this realm? We can never say. You see, we can never say. Then we are left so empty, so open, so innocent, just like an infant child. You see? I used to joke earlier with the Sangha that okay, now there are two variables which make the construct of a limited life seem true. You see, the two constructs are space and time. So your job is to give up one of them. You choose which one you want to give up. You see, and you realize very quickly that it's not possible to give up one without the other. You see, if you give up on time, then there's nothing you can say about space. If you give up on space, there's nothing you can say about time. So to give up on this notional space-time continuum, so whatever it's called in science, as something that contains us, you see, is very important.
Thank you.
So welcome, so welcome.
Love you. Thank
Love
you.
you too, my dear.
Thank you.